In Aztec mythology, two gods stood at the center of a great cosmic battle, one a symbol of wisdom and creation, the other of darkness and chaos. These two opposing forces shaped not only the world, but the very balance of the universe. Today we'll explore the legendary struggle between Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca, two of the most powerful gods in Aztec myth, and how their rivalry gave birth to the world we know. First, let's meet Quetzalcoatl. Known as the Feathered Serpent, Quetzalcoatl was a god of creation, knowledge, and wind. He represented the forces of light, civilization, and learning. As the god who helped shape the world, Quetzalcoatl was a protector of humanity, a bringer of order, and a symbol of wisdom. But, like in any great myth, there must be balance. Opposing Quetzalcoatl was his dark counterpart, Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca, whose name means smoking mirror, was a god of night, chaos, and trickery. He was powerful, cunning, and ruthless, known for creating disorder wherever he went. His symbol, the obsidian mirror, was said to give him the ability to see everything, past, present, and future. While Quetzalcoatl brought light and knowledge, Tezcatlipoca brought the darkness, challenging the order of the world with his deceptions and manipulation. Their rivalry began in the age before time itself. The world as we know it hadn't yet taken shape. Instead, there were primordial forces, shifting and chaotic, waiting to be molded into something new. Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca decided to work together to create the world. They began by slaying the great sea monster Chipactli, a terrifying creature that represented the untamed forces of chaos. Chipactli was an enormous crocodile-like beast with each of her joints covered in mouths, always hungry, always consuming. She represented the raw, destructive power of nature. To create the world, they had to defeat her. The Aztecs believed that the world had gone through 5 different eras, or suns, each ruled by different gods. The first era, the first sun, was ruled by Tezcatlipoca. In this age, giants walked the earth. But Tezcatlipoca, whose nature was unpredictable, eventually destroyed his own creation. Quetzalcoatl, in response, struck Tezcatlipoca down, ending the first sun and ushering in the second sun, a new era. Quetzalcoatl ruled this era, bringing order and peace. But Tezcatlipoca would not let this stand. In revenge, he stirred chaos once again, and in the end, a great wind swept through the earth, destroying the second sun. And so the cycle continued. Each time a new age began, a new world was created, only to be destroyed in their endless struggle. But it was during the fifth sun, the era we live in today, that Quetzalcoatl performed one of his most significant acts. After the destruction of the previous ages, Quetzalcoatl descended into the underworld, Mictlan, to retrieve the bones of the dead. It was a treacherous journey, filled with dangers, but Quetzalcoatl, with his wisdom and cunning, succeeded in retrieving the bones. Using these ancient bones, he brought life back to the earth. Quetzalcoatl mixed the bones with his own blood, creating humanity. This act of creation was seen as a gift to the world, a chance for life to thrive once again, despite the constant threat of destruction. However, Tezcatlipoca was never far behind. His power to disrupt and destroy kept him a constant force of opposition. Using his obsidian mirror, he could see all things, past, present, and future, and would manipulate events to maintain his influence over the world. In some myths, Tezcatlipoca tricks Quetzalcoatl, leading him to moments of weakness. In one version of the story, Tezcatlipoca uses his cunning to intoxicate Quetzalcoatl, causing the wise feathered serpent to fall from grace. In his shame, Quetzalcoatl abandons the world, leaving it vulnerable to Tezcatlipoca's chaos. In this tale, Quetzalcoatl leaves the world in despair, sailing away on a raft made of serpents. Some versions say he promised to return one day to restore order, while others suggest that this was the end of his rule. Regardless, Tezcatlipoca's influence over the world grew, as darkness and disorder seeped into every corner of the land. The Aztecs saw this endless battle between Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca as part of the natural cycle of the universe, one of creation and destruction, light and dark, order and chaos. In their myths, the world was always at risk of being torn apart by these powerful forces, and humanity was caught in the middle. The rivalry between these two gods was more than just a cosmic struggle. It was also a way for the Aztecs to understand the fragility of life and the universe. They believed that balance could never be fully achieved, that the world would always be in flux, shaped by the forces of good and evil, creation and destruction. So when we think of Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca, we're not just talking about two gods. These figures represent opposing forces that exist within all things. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, stands for wisdom, peace, and creation. Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror, embodies chaos, destruction, and deception. Together, they created the world, destroyed it, and shaped its future through their constant struggle. This balance of forces is one of the central ideas in Aztec mythology and serves as a reminder that the world we live in is fragile, always on the edge of being torn apart by opposing powers.